Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are excited to be here, and we wanted to let you know that we are a part of Joco Community Radio. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. Joco Community Radio also has an app that is available for free on both Android and iOS devices. Simply search your store, download the app, and check out the lineup and more. And before we get started on this exciting Friday, and Foster will share a little bit about what we've got in store for you today, for a quick word of prayer. Father God, we're just excited to be here. Please open doors for all job seekers, just wonderful employment opportunities, guide their steps, lead and direct them. And Lord, please help us and anoint us to help those in the job seeker place today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, Foster, so let's talk a little bit about what we've got on the lineup today.
Well, okay, let's do that. So good morning, Job Seeker Nation. So, guys, I'm wearing my shirt representing Hawaii because we know we've had a big tragedy out in Hawaii. I think it's the worst fire that we've had in the history of the United States. And one of my best friends lives on Honoka'a. As you see, that's what my shirt says. I'm proud of myself, Dana, because I know how to talk Hawaiian. But she was raised on Maui. And so we have had a lot of loss. And we want to have a moment of silence, if you will, for the folks. The death toll, unfortunately, has climbed above 100. The search is not over. So, Father God, we ask that you look after and give all the families involved and everybody out in Maui what they need. Father, you know more than we do. We're lifting them up to you. And we thank you for what you're doing in Jesus' name, especially getting us a job. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So I just want to take a little time to do that. And guys, why don't we talk a little bit about some good news real quick before Dana and I want to talk to you guys about our world today. Dana and I are recruiters, and we want to dig a little bit and let you guys know a little bit of things about what we have to go through as recruiters, because we think it will help you connect with us. It will definitely give you some ideas on questions to ask us along the way. because remember, we are not the decision makers for these positions that you see posted. We are middlemen, we're middle ladies, and we try to make sure that the right thing gets through. So we're going to share a little bit of our world with you guys today. So real quick, let's go and let's just take a little bit of time to celebrate some landings that we have now. Here's what I'm noticing going on, guys. There are a lot of things that are happening right now, um, and what I mean, guys, is that people are coming back, school's starting back up, people are coming back from vacation, and so is corporate America starting back up. So I'm happy to announce that that's happening. So I want to start with a friend of mine that just landed a job, Cynthia Slack. Cynthia Slack just landed at CAE, and she is a project manager over at CAE. And
Good
it
job,
was,
Cynthia.
yeah, it was really really fun because Cynthia connected with a lady that she had worked at before, and that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? We make relationships along the way, guys, and you never know. And I tell job seekers the biggest thing that you can do in your job search is participation. Get out. Don't overthink your job search. Oh, why should I go there? Why should I do this? Why should I talk to this person? Because somebody that suggested that you do that knows something that you don't know and may not have time to explain it to you all the time. So, guys, if we get out, we will meet, see, and hear things that we didn't know about before. So, Cynthia, congratulations. And Jana Van Gordon is Jana Von Gordon. I always do that to you, don't I, Jana? Jana Von Gordon starts a new position as a business partner at a company that we can't say yet because it was a confidential search and we're not allowed to say anything yet. But Jana, congratulations. You're going to make a good business partner. You're inside. You're reaching out to the clients, and you're going to bring in some new work by way of what you have already done previously in your career. So congratulations, Jana. And I'm not going to say Van Gordon anymore. I'm going to say Von Gordon. Gerald Alexander is another one. Dana has landed at Collins Aerospace. We're getting some people at Collins Aerospace. This is pretty cool. He's a systems engineer. Now the systems that he's going to be working on, guys, are mechanical systems that deal with some of the manufacturing that they do over at Collins Aerospace for components. So congratulations, Gerald. And then Joshua Van Dress is starting a new position as a VP of investments at Paulson Investment Company up in New York. So New York is a big financial center. We all know that. And Joshua, I actually mentioned your landing last week, but I wanted to double up because you and I got a chance to talk a little bit and a little bit more about what happened out there. And so, congratulations, Joshua. All right. So, Dana, let's chit chat a little bit. Why don't
All
we?
righty, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and
And
Foster, might
yeah,
I do a quick shout out?
please do.
I found out, so just to keep everybody in the loop, I usually let you know every week that both Caris Life Sciences and Galderma hires regularly for positions throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth, as well as Phoenix, and some remote positions. So I want to encourage our listeners to go to carislifesciences.com and galderma.com. And this is my first week with Beacon Oral Specialists. It's a wonderful organization. And I'm pleased to announce that we have positions open in dental practices, whether it be surgical assistants, instrument assistants, front office staff, administrative positions all throughout the U.S., including the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you get a chance, go to Beacon, like a beacon of light, beaconoralspecialists.com. And for our organizations that are listening, don't forget that if you would like to have your positions sponsored on the Jobfather,
Yes.
please reach out to Foster Williams at sbcglobal.net. Foster will be able to work with you on a competitive an advantageous package. Thank you,
Yes.
Foster. Just wanted to put that in there real quick.
There's a lot of power we have here. There's a lot of companies that are listening right now. Some, Dana,
Globally.
that according to who we have on, since I had Rich on today, and he's an operations specialist. And you know what? Rich has been in the food industry and supply chain and logistics. So I invited some specific recruiters and a couple of hiring managers to listen to us today because I want them to be able to hear and see Richard. Oh, excuse me.
Don't die over there.
Oh my
And
goodness. I
keep in
think I'm going to
mind,
live.
yeah, good. And keep in mind for those listeners, if you're a job seeker, there's wonderful opportunities within the career search that you can look into that Foster has helped build over the years. Opportunities in South Lake, opportunities in Fort Worth, opportunities in Frisco to get networked in LinkedIn. And you
Hmm.
can also go to search for you
Inc.
Inc.
.com.
Incorporated at Incorporated INC, and check out Foster's website because he on a regular basis links people together, and he has organizations that contract with him to find people, and he has wonderful people through the network that he's been able to help place into phenomenal positions throughout the years. Foster, will you spell out
Absolutely.
your website, because I remember last week I butchered it.
That's okay. Everybody butchers it. Guys, please link in with me. It is all over my LinkedIn, but it is search SEARCH, the number four, the letter U, INC.com. Let me hit it again, Dana. SEARCH, the number four, and the letter U, INC.com. What I do, guys, I try to build relationships along the way. You guys know how I am. I build relationships, and a lot of times those relationships need to hire people. So when what's funny, when Rich lands his job, Rich has been a COO before, and he's a VP level. So I'm going to stay in contact with Rich as best I can. He might tell me to get lost once he gets the job. Foster, get out of here, man. You're bugging me. But I'll stay in contact with folks to find out, hey, we've got the largest job seeker network. We are in 30 states, if not more than that, probably because of this show. And there is, like where Dana landed a job. Dana's got jobs all over the United States. So there are other metroplexes like Atlanta, Minneapolis, New York, Chicago, Phoenix. We have networks all over, just like we do here in Dallas Fort Worth. We are more. I think it's easy to say that we are a lot more uh, saturated here with a job seeker help in Dallas Fort Worth. But you know what? There are a lot of groups up in. Hey, I'm going to say hi to you, David. There's a lot of groups that are, and some of those folks are listening to us right now that are up in Minneapolis. It's a little bit cooler up in Minneapolis this morning, from what I understand, than down here. But I think hell is cooler than Texas anyway. So thanks, Dana, for bringing that up. Absolutely. Now, guys, on search for you, when you see a position, do not connect through that position through the website. You won't be able to do that. We don't have it set up like that. We produce the information for everybody who is responsible for hiring for those jobs. So when you see a job there, the information of who is hiring for that job or who the recruiter is right there for you to see. You send your resume directly to that person and say, "Hey, I heard about this on the Jobfather radio show," and then you want to call me because we want to talk about it because I'm the one that has these relationships with most of these people that post on the website. So
Yep.
just something to think about. All right, I'm going to get us started on a conversation. Me and Dana are going to just talk so you guys can hear us. Now, you see a posting. You might see it on ZipRecruiter. You might see it on Facebook, even. You might see it on LinkedIn. and we connect. You apply online. Well, when you apply online, guys, that means that your information will be in that applicant tracking system that the company is using. And then at that point, you might see that Dana Gingerich is the recruiter for that position. So then you might want to reach out to Dana, send your resume to Dana and say, Dana, the first thing that you want to do is say, Dana, I have applied for this position. I want to talk to you. I see you're responsible. You are the recruiter for this position. You are not the hiring manager. You don't have to tell her that. She already knows. But you are the recruiter for this position. And I felt as though I wanted to chit chat with you a little bit. Now, a lot of times, guys, you will apply for positions and recruiter will call you expeditiously. That's my big word for today. Don't ask me how to spell it, but I said it. So, so guys, when you talk to that recruiter, talk to that recruiter about that position. And that recruiter is going to ask you very relevant questions on the things that have happened that are the company is looking for that position. And why is because Dana has been building a relationship with the hiring manager that's going to hire for that position. He's going to tell Dana the intangibles that he wants to hire into his team that may or may not be on the job posting. So Dana and I are going to try to extract that information out of you as we're having a converse. Let me say that real. Let me get up close to the conversation. I usually say relationship when I get up this close.
Yeah.
But guys, we're going to have a conversation and we're going to extract those intangible things we already see and we're interested in. We called you because we saw your resume and we saw a lot of information that you have on your resume that is relevant to what we're looking for that position. It's me and Dana and other recruiters' job to talk to you guys and find out, hey, or do we think that you'd be a good fit for our company? Let's see who you are and how you present yourself as a person. And so then
Absolutely.
at that point, we will tell you, we should tell you, and ask us, guys, if we don't tell you, hey, what do you think? We've talked a little bit about this position. Or do you think that you might want to share me with your hiring manager? Um, and if the answer is yes, guys, we are going to do just that. We're going to go and we're going to have a conversation with the hiring manager and say, Mr. Rich, we posted this position for you. We talked about it and you told me this is what you're looking for. And this is what I extracted from this candidate. So can you guys see the functionality of us recruiters? Because at that point, guys, the hiring manager is responsible for the decision that he makes towards what we shared with him. Hopefully he will get excited and say, hey, I think Dana gave me a good candidate and I think I want to have a conversation with this Foster guy. And so then we'll talk and the hiring manager will have a different subset of questions because he's the one that is doing the technical part of the job, right? He is managing everything that is around the functionality of what that department is trying to do. Dana, what say Dana in all of this scenario that I brought up?
No, absolutely. It's a very good scenario. I think the key things to pull out of the scenario are, remember again that the recruiter is typically not the decision maker, but can influence the hiring leader based on their impression of you. So if you happen to get a call and you're in the job market, make sure, and you don't know if it's an employer or not, it's always best to answer your phone and answer it positively with good vocal inflection and professionally. If you're in the job, good comment. And by the way, this is our hype lady and our project manager, and we couldn't do this show without her. So thank you, Mez. Mez brought up a very good comment. If you're if you are in the job market, make sure both your resume and your phone number are posted in your contact information on LinkedIn. You want to be reachable. Now, remember that it is very important to follow up with your recruiter or who it is that you're working with, but don't be too pushy, don't be rude, and don't be disrespectful. Their job is to find the best possible candidates for the position based on that recruitment strategy meeting and job description. They meet with the hiring leader quite frequently before they even start a search to learn more about what the hiring leader needs and wants, and then confirms the job description. So again, while they're not the final decision makers, they definitely can have influence. And I can give you many, scenarios where people were too pushy, too demanding, or came across like they were upset or had a chip on their shoulder. And while they might have had qualifications, they wouldn't have been a good culture fit. And I didn't want to put my name behind that candidate, knowing that there were some potential personality or professional issues in terms of, is this person easy to work with? Another thing to keep in mind is that people tend to hire people they like, and it's a subconscious thing. It's not always something people are aware of. So when you're interviewing, whether it's a phone interview, whether it is a video conference interview, whether it is an in-person interview, it's very to pay attention to the individual across the table, their style of communication, their personality, and try to mirror that as much as you can. That will subconsciously make them more comfortable with you, and make effort to be conversational with them and not robotic in your responses. It's interesting. I do interview coaching, and I have some phenomenal clients. One client in particular, in the very beginning, seemed to come across a little more robotic and not as energetic. We switched roles, and I had this individual interview me, and their
Oh.
personality completely changed. And I said, that's the personality I need when I'm interviewing you. So
Hmm.
think about your close friends, your family members, and your natural personality, and try to infuse some of that in there to align with the person on the other end of the screen, because they're thinking, would I enjoy working with this person? Would this person be trouble or drama, or would this person truly be someone I would enjoy working with and can trust? Could I see myself hanging out with this person outside of work? Not that you always would, but these are subconscious things that go on in your head when you're interviewing people. So if you can attack the interviews from that perspective, it'll help. And if you understand the recruiter's role, beginning to build relationships before you get to the interview in the appropriate fashion will help as well.
Absolutely. We have it. This is a journey that we go on. Dana and I build our relationships with the people that we serve, the internal hiring managers, by
Yep.
what it is that we do in this process. So, do we understand? Do we ask questions? Do we understand what the company is doing, what the hiring manager is trying to? Yeah, what you're trying to hire, but what you want this person to do in the big for the big picture. So,
Yeah.
when we do that, uh, it is difficult a lot of time. You hiring managers, listen up. It is difficult sometimes because you tell us what you want. We send you the best people that we can according to what it is that you told us. And then you're like, we need to have this and we need to have that. And I'm not ready to interview the people yet. And when people are looking for jobs, hiring managers, when people are looking for jobs, they got families to feed. They love the company that you work for, maybe not, if they're familiar with it, but they don't have time to sit around and wait on you to get your people together enough to interview them and get them on the job. So, guys, we need to think about these things as we move forward. We recruiters are very, very challenged in building relationships with hiring managers because we got two different things that we have to do. We have to provide what you're looking for. You have to let us know what it is that we need to know. We are on your side. We are
Yep.
not. We're not just throwing people at you from LinkedIn or somebody that's got a bunch of keywords. We have actually talked to the Richard Falks of the world. Richard is with us today, and he is going to be telling you guys about what he's looking for. And you know
Yeah.
what? Dana and I are going to talk to Richard, and we're going to ask those questions that we know we need to ask because we have a relationship with that hiring manager. We know in the best situation, we
Yeah.
know what you're looking for. We know you as a person. We've spent time with you. We've hired other people with you. So we know what you're looking for. And we're going to try to extract that information out of Rich. Now, we're doing that. So when we submit Rich's resume to you or Rich's profile or whatever it is through the applicant tracking system, we want to tell you this is what to look for because you said that this is what you're looking for. And I question Rich or whoever the job seeker is. We have extracted information that we think is relevant to what you told me. And I just want you to understand why I am submitting Rich's application for this opportunity that you have to you. So this is where we build relationships. Now, when anytime that people are involved, there's going to be some stuff. And so we, Dana and I are both recruiting leaders. So we have multiples of recruiters sometimes that report to us. I did in most of the companies that I worked at in the last probably 20 years of my career. I just gave out a number, didn't I?
Yep. Foster, might I say as well? Oh, did I interrupt, Foster?
What?
Okay, so I was going to say, absolutely right. And, networking is so critical. And something that even as networks that network, I would recommend to those of you that are in career or job search to check out Transition Matters. I believe there's over them, and they do a lot of interview coaching, a lot of resume coaching for you. I utilize them in between, even being a recruiter. You always can learn new things, and they've had a lot of people land jobs. So remember the full website, transitionmaster.org.
It's transitionmasters.org. You guys go check out transitionmasters.org. I believe Rich has been with us at Transition Masters. Have you not, Rich?
I have. They were phenomenal.
Yeah. Guys, there are a bunch of coaches that like to get together and help you guys figure out how you're going to present yourself to the very positions and companies that you're interested in. They'll give you ideas on how, if you have a certain industry that you worked in, an industry that you're targeting, you may not have a specific target company, but you might have a specific target industry. And through the networking component of that and talking to other people, you'll find out other companies and contacts and relationships. I'm going to bring that word up in other companies that can work to your benefit. So guys, we want to be, there's a lot of common sense that is skipped over because we use technology so much and we're jumping around. No. Technology, I love. It's a tool. But guys, when we have an opportunity to build a relationship somewhere, we need to be doing that, especially when we're in a job search. And I and Dana will help you do that. If you check in, Foster, I saw a job at IBM. Oh my God. I know you're the Jobfather. You might have a connection at IBM. Not only will I have a connection, I have a multiplicity of those things, and we'll figure out which ones it is that would be best according to what we're applying for. What would be best for us to connect with? I hear music, so I'm going to shut up. We're going to go to commercial and come back and talk to Rich.
Talk to you soon.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Hello, Jobfather Nation. Second half of the show. We are excited to be here. Just a reminder, Joco Community Radio is a fabulous place for the Jobfather to be. We are excited to be a part of Joco Community Radio, and you can download their lineup and more, as they are the voice of Texas, on the TuneIn Joco.com website or the Joco Community Radio app, which is free, and you can download it both on Android and iOS devices and listen to Joco Community Radio and their lineup of shows 24/7. And it's live 365 on the TuneIn Radio network. So don't forget to jump in and check out the wonderful Joco Community Radio app and website. Again, the voice of Johnson County, Texas. We are very blessed to be a part of Joco Community Radio and definitely encourage you to check out their lineup. Now, before we jump into the second half, just a quick shout out to Jason Hopper, Esmeralda, and of course, we are so thankful for our individuals and our regular listeners. Jason Hopper is with us every week. Esmeralda Gerard is with us quite a bit. We're so thankful. And don't forget our hype lady and the individual that keeps us together, Meg Rose Caterio. We're very thankful for her. So Foster, I am so excited. We've got a great the second half to share more about it.
I want to do that. I'm glad you brought it up, Dana, that we are a community radio channel. Guys, our company, the Career Search Network, is a community company, and we are happy to be on community radio. Now, if you guys listen and tune in to Joco like Dana suggested, you'll be surprised some of the shows, some of the businesses. You learn about your very community around the Metroplex. I'm going to say that, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We are right here in Dallas-Fort Worth, but we are a streaming radio, so we stream to other streaming radios. So there is no telling across the planet who is listening to us. A lot of times I get, after our shows, I will get, like about 2 weeks ago, the lady from Greece reached out. She was riding around in her car and listening to us now. So we've got a number of companies, because we know that Foster has relationships all over the place, because that's kind of man, that's what I am. That's what I do. And I purposely invited a lot of companies here to listen to Rich this morning. So I want to introduce you guys to Richard Falk, good friend of mine. Richard has been in the network for a little while, and I have gotten to observe Rich and talk to Rich, and he offers a lot, guys, by way of operations leadership. He has been in the food industry before. He has been in supply chain and logistics. He is a consultant right now, and he wants you guys to know, hey, I am open to a permanent job, but I'm again, I'm a consultant. You guys might want to talk to me about opportunities you have for consultancy for my leadership. So, hey, Richard,
Hey there. Good to be here.
tell us a little bit about Rich. Tell us a little bit about you and that dreaded question that Dana and I and other recruiters ask. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, tell us a little bit about Richard and what you're looking for.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I'm currently consulting, but I am a senior operating and distribution leader, and I've done that throughout my career in CPG, food, retail, e-commerce, and industrial, with a specialty of running dedicated warehouse operations, multi-site warehouse operations, and last mile delivery in the industries I just spoke of. And I want to get back to that senior P&L role where I'm leading operations, responsible for the culture, the P&L results, the service results, and overall, a segment of the distribution. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's what makes me happy.
And yeah, that does make you happy. Guys, Rich wouldn't be on the show if he wasn't exemplary in who he is as a person and what he does. You know that Dana and I vet. If you're on this show, you're a good one. And so, guys, Rich offers that leadership that a lot of us need. Dana, I'm hoping, I don't know, with you having a new job, do you have operations needs at your company?
At this point, I would have to look. I'm not sure we do right this moment.
Okay.
We acquire surgical practices
Uh-huh.
in the oral dentistry space. So I don't believe so at this time.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask. You know how I
I
am.
know it's a great question.
I want to dig around whenever I can. You guys make sure you're probably already linked in anyway. But guys, when you need someone, Rich is going to be that person that can talk to your client as well. He offers the leadership, the understanding of what the client's needs are. And then he's going to be the leader to put that together. So he's going to have components that he's puts together to make sure that that service that we're providing to that client company is going to be met and met in the best way that it can be. Rich, did I miss anything on that?
No, that's exactly right. And typically, depending on the size of the company, I've led director roles, VP, RVP, COO roles, and looking for that senior role, doing exactly what you said, Foster.
Absolutely, guys. We need people like Richard that have the vision, understand what the company is doing on a whole, but and then touching base, reaching out. You might even want to have Rich be a part of your sales process. Richard is not a sales guy, but he's going to be the one to tell you how at this company we can put together the product to get you what you need as a client company. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of different ways that we can think about different conversations with a guy like Richard because of the leadership that he has provided all the way from COO to VP of operations. So Rich and I are not old. We're just experienced. And there a lot of times on this show, we've had a lot of different ideas pop up because you guys got a chance to meet and see candidates that were available. And I want to say Richard is available to talk right now. He is consulting, but he's available to talk to you guys about different ideas that you have. So, hey, that's him right down there. And I want to hear more from Rich about some of the things that he's seen in the network. And some of the companies. Rich, do you have a subset of target companies that you would be, or a target industry that you are interested in? I know you've been in the food industry. I know you've been in supply chain logistics. So I just wanted to ask you that question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been 90% of my career has been third-party logistics, where they outsource logistics operations to the
Uh,
3PL company. So I've ran heavy and Procter & Gamble operations, run their operations, Michelin, DuPont, lots of retail, e-commerce, and industrial companies. So I'm not set on a specific industry because I've managed a lot of industries, having been in third-party logistics most of my career, and
okay.
distributors, i.e., U.S. Foods as a distributor. So not stuck on an industry, more the process and the leadership.
Ah. And guys, I like talking to Rich and hearing him talk about what he does because I do the same thing as a recruitment leader. When I had that traditional job in corporate America, I don't have that anymore. But that is exactly what I did for the companies that I work for in recruiting. That is what it is. Put together those teams and get her done, whatever that whatever whatever that end need is. But guys, I want you guys to think, because of the wide berth of Rich's experience. I want you guys to think about some things that you might want to talk to him about. Now, he is a leader, so he's going to come in and he's going to put together the whole shebang bang for you guys and figure out what it is, what directions we need to go, how we need to go in that direction to get it done. And that's why I invited him to be on the show with us today. So he is in what we like to say industry agnostic, I guess, Dana, would be the thing.
That's good. That's good. That opens up more doors of opportunity and shows diversity and ability to quickly adjust to any environment.
That's right. That's right. Rich, I know that you're more familiar with the areas that you've been in. Do you have any specific interests outside of where you have been? Does anything excite you? Like for me, I'm a space guy, so anything NASA, anything ESA, JSE, all of this, those kind of companies would be the thing for me if I were looking for a job. Those would be the industries and the companies that are involved in those industries that I would be interested in talking to. What about you?
I like doing things that are different. I haven't worked in so many different industries. I give the example. I once got a call from a small private equity backed company that puts breathalyzers in cars. Really had nothing to do with distribution, but they needed a COO to lead operations and had good organizational skills and finance and sales background. And that was right up my alley. Not distribution, but it's just leading an organization, so that's of great interest to me too.
Was that Smart Start here in Grapevine, by any chance?
No, they were based in the Northeast.
Okay, Rich.
They're based in the Northeast. They did have an office here, actually.
Check out a company called Smart Start if you get a chance. They're right here in Grapevine. I live right here in Grapevine, so you guys, hey, Grapevine is cool. Yeah. We'll go down to Main Street. They got good restaurants down there. So
they do. But, they really do.
They really do. Dana and I can tell you. But you know what, guys? Do check out Smart Start, Rich. I never even thought about them in all of our conversations that we've had. And I know about a year ago, doesn't mean that, you never know what's going on. But about a year ago, there's a buddy of mine that was a CFO over there, and two of them, and they were in need of a COO or a senior operations leader, actually, for what they do. And Smart Start does breathalyzers, guys, for some of us folks to get pulled over, and they provide the instrumentation to find out how much we've been drinking. Oh, I've had a beer, Mr. Officer. I've had a couple of beers when we know it's really been about a couple of hundred beers. Well, that information, the things that they manufacture and put together are the instruments to find out. Okay, you had a couple of beers. Let's find out how many beers you had.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, some of the companies that are around now. Rich, with logistics companies like XPO and many of the other ones as well, we have connections in and around. Are you finding that a place for you in those big old logistics and supply chain companies are of interest for you? Are you finding positions that would interest you in those level of companies?
Yeah, without a doubt, for sure. A lot of the bigger companies, as they should, try to promote from within, but a lot of times they bring in experts from out also. So it's just finding the right opportunity in the right location. I am now relocatable to the Southeast. And of course, I'm happy in Dallas, but relocatable to the Southeast and near DC too. So that brings up opportunities. And like I said, there's can be some good opportunities there.
It absolutely can, especially in the food industry. Rich, there's another company I just thought of. It's called Saddle Creek Logistics. We have posted positions here, or we've talked about, Dana and I have talked about positions at Saddle Creek Logistics before here. It looks like you are somewhat familiar with them.
Yeah, I've had some pretty good conversations with them. and as of recently, something at my level has not opened up for them to talk to me about, but we are in contact.
Okay. Okay. Good. And are you familiar with Ben E. Keith Foods over in
I
Fort Worth?
am. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Good. You see what happens to me, guys, when I talk to you guys, all sorts of things start flying through my mind. And that is why I encourage job seekers to get out and network, because you never know who you're talking to. And Dana and Foster have been recruiters a long time. I have hired quite a few people like Richard that are operations leaders, uh, global operations leaders, COOs. All, my career. I don't want to tell y'all how long I've been recruiting, but we've seen these kind of things, and I remember a lot of what we had going in the companies that I was working with at the time. So again, we're happy to have Rich with us. And Richard,
Yes.
tell us your email address. How can we best get in contact with you?
Probably just clicking on my LinkedIn.
Okay.
But I mean, you're welcome to have my email address. My email address is ricfalk@gmail.com. But if you go to my LinkedIn address, which is in the chat, you can see my full profile, excluding my 30 years in prison. Just kidding. So,
Again, guys, we're talking with Richard Falk. I think you guys can spell his last name Falk. And I am trying to think. I went to college with a guy named Falk, and I can't
Yep.
think of
And
what his first
Foster,
name is. Yeah, Dana, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say for Rich, I think it's great when we get individuals on here to share a little bit about what sets you apart from other individuals in your space.
Good
That
question.
would really make an employer want to hire you above other people that do similar things.
yeah. Well, for me, it's, I'm not just a pure operations guy. I've been, leading operations for the past 10 plus years, but I have a MBA in finance, was a financial analyst, had finance report to me. Also was a VP of sales in the past, so very well-rounded to lead
Uh-huh.
organizations or parts or segments of
That's
organizations.
awesome.
So that's one. And throughout my career, I've consistently met P&L and service results. So, obviously that helps. And I have the experience of working publicly traded to startup companies and mid-sized companies. So I know what it's like to go greenfield and take best practices from both publicly traded and smaller companies. So I think that helps differentiate me.
Okay.
As a recruiter, I heard you say that you are open to reload, and it's gonna lead me to think that you can travel. We don't want to say extensively. We don't want you guys to hire Richard and have him on the road all the time. But but what percentage of travel would you say is applicable for your life and your lifestyle?
I'd say like 60, 65%.
That's a
I'm
good
single,
percent.
kick the kids are out of the house. And so I'd say, previous jobs I've done like Monday through Thursday, three weeks a month, and fourth week at home. And so 60% or so,
Hmm.
fine with.
Richard, what about global presence? Have you been in a global situation before?
Yeah, I've managed operations in Canada and been part of global third-party logistics companies. So I worked for a German-based company called DB Schenker.
Ah,
I've worked with lots of Europeans, kind of understand the difference in business cultures,
hmm,
and there can be very big differences.
big, yes.
Yes, and I've learned, how to work in very large matrix organizations. So I feel I know how to work with different cultures for sure.
Hmm. When you
That
get a
is
new idea,
important.
it
Yeah.
is. When you get a new idea about how you want to set up a new process, are you? And I'm going to assume that you are, but you tell me, Foster. That's not me. Forget it. But you present ideas and things to senior level management that are there with you, and say, guys, we need for this client, we need to put this together. We need to have this going on. And uh, are you the one that takes that to senior management and said, are you guys okay with this? Can you help me set up what we need to have in order to get this done?
Well, I think it's more like the sales team will say, I'm having a problem with this client. We need a solution. Richard, can you create a solution? And so I get with my team and we create a solution to expand the customer or maintain the customer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, guys, as we go along,
Yeah.
once again, this is Richard Falk. I want you guys to go check out his LinkedIn profile, Falk, Richard Falk,
Yes.
and you guys can see some of the breadth of experience that Richard brings to the table. Dana,
Excellent
I'm gonna.
experience.
Did you have any other questions, Dana, for Richard?
Well, I think that was the main one. I always like to give everybody that comes on the show, because again, I want to remind everybody that, Foster's, now I have a good network, but Foster's is even better. And it's very rich network and deep with great individuals. And Foster takes a lot of effort in bringing on, some of the top job seekers on the show.
Yes.
And so it's important for me, when we get this opportunity to speak with wonderful people like Rich, to really give them a chance to highlight why they're such a good fit, and why the companies that are listening and that tune in would be remiss not to hire them should they have, an opening in that field. So I just wanted to throw that out there, Foster, because I know it's an important part of the show. And we're so excited to have Rich on here today. And Rich, I mean, you have a great background, excellent breadth and depth to your experience. I know you're going to land quickly.
Well, thank you so much. Great being here, and it's been a good experience. So thank you.
I've got a Foster type of question, and then I'm a hiring
Yeah, let's
manager.
do it.
So I've got a Foster type of question. Rich, tell me, how in the world, give me a brief capsule of your career. What did you start doing, and what led you into leadership in what it is that you do? Is there certain things that you liked and you applied, different things that got you noticed? What A brief encapsulation of where you started and how you ended up being the leader that you
Yeah.
are.
Well, I got an MBA in finance and went to work for AT&T in finance for 2 years. It was a great experience as far as the finance and financial background, but quite frankly, finance bored me. And then I had an opportunity to go into logistics, and just have always loved logistics because you're always creating new solutions, meeting new customers. I think there's been 3 days in my career where I've been bored. So I've just done, which is great to say.
Yeah.
Because it's problems to solve, and I like the combination of strategy and execution, and the teams you have to build, the global part of it, and so I've just done various roles, and and third-party logistics is great because you take on different clients, you learn from them, take on different industries, so it's always learning too, while you're adding value yourself. And just,
Absolutely.
taking on various roles, leading multi-site operations or running divisions and so forth.
Making sure everybody understood what the other one was doing and who was responsible for what, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I love listening to Rich's career because it is exactly what I did in talent acquisition. Globally, I was the one that had to go and put together things and make sure that the things are working. I like that. I'm more of an operations recruiter. I found that people like Dana can find the people and perform the role of recruiter a whole lot better than me. But I can put together the X's and O's. And
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. So I'm more of an operations person myself, so I can understand a lot of what drives Richard. I have not performed in Richard's capacity in what he
Right.
does, but
Right.
you know what? I've been there. I can understand. At least I feel like I can. Maybe I can't understand much. I think
Yeah.
I can. And I've been in prison too. So me and Richard, we've got that experience. So we can work with difficult people. I'm kidding, y'all. I'm kidding.
I was like,
I have not been to prison. Just to go.
Rich has not been to prison. Let's establish that now. Rich has not been
yeah,
incarcerated.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And neither have I, dadgum. I know you guys would probably buy the fact that Foster was in there before you even think about Rich being there. But guys, people are involved in what it is that we do. Rich would probably tell you that a lot of times when you are in operations capacity, you set the example by being the example, and you show people by getting involved what it is that you do and why it works. by example rather than going up and
Right.
telling somebody, okay, Dana, I know you've been recruiting a long time, but this is what we're going to do today, and we're going to do it like this. Well, I didn't ask Dana what she thought about my little
Yeah.
operation style or anything like that. Rich, thinking about that, what type of operation styles do you enjoy?
Well, getting down on the floor, meeting and talking with people,
Mm,
having them know that you're not a boss, you're a team member. So
right.
always getting out and talking to people. Certainly empower people. That's if you can't be empowered, you probably shouldn't be on the team. But I'm a big empower. Rich is a
Yeah.
management style. I do set clear expectations and goals, but it's all about empowerment to me and getting out on the floor and meeting with people and the right balance of strategy and execution.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because how in the world are you going to understand the true fruits of the company and how it
Yeah.
operates and who's involved if you're not out there with them? And
Mhm.
I like that type in operations. To me, it's a must. That question that I ask purposefully. I remembered a guy that I hired aboard of Verizon in an operations. Let's see. Chet was as VP of Ops in a certain division we had, and I knew how the leaders were there. I had built a relationship with the
Mm-hmm.
with the
Mm-hmm.
leadership, and I knew that Chet actually still there. Hey, man, if you're listening, Chet, I'm talking about you, man. And
Yeah.
so he's still there, and it turned out to be the most awesome people that he worked with. They hired him for his expertise. Rich has that expertise of leadership. He's been in those situations. So if you hire Rich, are you willing to listen to Rich? Are you going to let Rich do what he does? You're hiring him for his expertise companies. Are you going to hire him and put handcuffs on him? Or are you going to ask Rich, how are you going to get it done? So
There we
you can tell,
go.
guys, I've been in corporate regular long enough. I've got ideas of things that I've been through as well. But
Exactly.
again, guys, Richard is with us. His last name is Falk, Falk. I definitely, I think Richard's LinkedIn profile spells Richard out pretty good, and I want you guys to go check out his
Yes,
LinkedIn profile.
it
Connect with
does.
Richard and companies if you have a need. Richard is a subject matter expert in this area. Call him and talk to him. He is available. He's consulting. Maybe you want to hire him in a permanent role. Maybe you need to hire a permanent leader like a Rich. And I think you do. Now, listen, I hear music. So
I hear the music.
we will be joining
I
you
hear
guys
the
again. Thank
music.
you again, Rich. And
Thank you.
we'll see you guys next Friday.
Okay.
See
God
you next
bless.
Friday.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank you.
If you're trying to quit drinking,